over the past week, I've been able to enjoy some exotic strains. I want to thank you, fine sisters, for making that happen for me, for the journey you made into a territory that I know is scary to y'all. And I want to apologize for being so ill and not being able to be myself and enjoy a visit with you. I'm trying to overcome this thing. I may actually get it defeated. But yeah, I enjoyed some nice exotic strains, some good medical cannabis. Thanks to some people who care about me in Detroit. Right when you think you've been forgotten by people, people are driving all the way across the state just to bring you some medication and, you know, make sure that you're alright, see you and shit. I got family that don't do that, and they're pretty goddamn close. I got family that the only time they want to come see me is to fuck with me or aggravate me or try to fucking do something evil to me. Yeah. So, we've got this thing where they're causing the brainwaves of those they control to generate a certain resonance, a frequency resonance. And then we got, in response to that, those who will allow that to happen and will allow themselves to be controlled like that. Calamity is being attracted to those brainwaves. All kinds of calamity. Look at the news. We talked about that a little bit in my last video that I posted. When you consider that this is a temporary timeline, premonition timeline, and the majority of the population doesn't even exist, for me to have gotten 11 view counts so quick, only 1 day, 2 days, or whatever, that's like a lot of view counts, because there's very few who still exist here. And my content is being blocked from the non-existent because they don't want to lose their numbers. They act like I want something that don't exist, something that will be phantomized. Be dumb enough to like some third grade level lyrics instead of my ingenious fucking artwork. Like, come on. That's the equivalent of some motherfuckers liking some finger painting instead of some real motherfucking art. You know, that's what it's like. I don't care about this timeline. I don't care about the entities here, and I don't care to try to save them. It's a gloating thing. But they don't get it. I could have just as easily been doing something else with my time. But they saw to it that I became very skilled at astralscape. Projection, time traversing, timeline traveling, you know, bouncing over fucking into the next timeline. They made sure that I became adept at that when they hit me with this illegal martial law with their terrorism of my life. Pardon me. Every attack and every second of every attack only benefits me more. It benefits Lucifer and God and their end time agendas more. It takes more authority and power away from them and squashes their agendas even more. with every attack. So I'll gladly endure the attacks. Yeah, because it gives me, like, super authority, man. And, you know, I've been traveling back in time. Y'all ain't gonna notice because, well, I've been dicking with shit. And you know that there's some who didn't exist that are already, they don't exist. I just kind of confessed to something without actually confessing to it. That you can put it together. You're not going to know they didn't exist. Hey, if I caused them never to get born, right? These are the things I'm going to do when my body dies here. I'm going to go back in time and I'm going to cause a whole bunch of entities that have fucked shit up to never exist. And I'm going to straighten out this timeline to make it fucking bearable for Lucifer and the fallen angels to come here. Yeah, we gotta have a mass die-off of all the dumb motherfuckers that are controlled by the mainstream. All these dumbass motherfuckers that can be entertained by sports and shit. Because look at how dangerous they are. Yeah, you can't be put in a hospital with them. They might beat you to death. Like what Juan Whitlow did to Al Potter. Yeah, these tattooed fucking bullies and monsters controlled by sub-spirits to even vandalize their own bodies. I'm of a mind they're gonna cover themselves in tattoos. They're dangerous, like Juan Whitlow. Juan Whitlow was dangerous to Al Potter, yo. Didn't have a weapon. No. Didn't use a weapon. Beat Al Potter to death. For sport, for fun. In this timeline. And then Al Potter couldn't do nothing more for no more black people. No. You notice the rich motherfuckers, the rappers and sports figures and reverends that program Juan to beat him down and kill him for sport. Boy, they really betrayed black people and Juan, didn't they? And they doing this because, you know, they ain't doing nothing for black people. Al Sharpton has never done anything for anything black. Understand this. Neither has Jesse Jackson, neither has the NAACP, nor has the Black Panthers, nor has any gangsters or thugs. No, they haven't. There's the few little exceptions to the rules, the little token shit they'll do. But it's nothing compared to the damage they do. You're going to go through a museum and fucking destroy all the art, but then you're going to take one little piece of art out of it and protect it? That don't make you a protector of art, stupid. You just became discriminate on what you would destroy, that's all. So you're seeing this shit start to hit, man. Where the motherfuckers with the rogue brainwaves, because they're all self-absorbed. They think everything's about themselves and their own prosperity and their own fucking shit. You're seeing this shit fucking hit them, man. It's gonna wipe them out. Yeah, there's 70 million homeless animals out there. You ain't got no right to talk about racism, your emotions, fucking your sadness, fucking what your agendas are, what you want to do. You ain't got no right to any of that. God and Lucifer, whose planet you're in, whose turf you're in, have dictated that you are responsible to those animals. Now, to previous generations, those animals were pets. To you, they're just something to ignore, kick, torture, fail to feed. You know? You won't even help motherfuckers who will do it. Ain't that some shit? Nah, you'll retweet some more motherfucking music act shit, though. Mainstream music acts. They're the perpetrators. That's why you're going to see bad shit happen to them now. Yeah. They're all mentally fucked up. When, hey, you know you're going to die and get time looped as the animals that you will not fucking influence your fans to rescue and treat right. You refuse. You know you're gonna get time looped as some animals. Hell, you're gonna get time looped as the police that are getting killed due to the mainstream influence. It ain't safe to be a police no more because of the mainstream influence. Well, Beyonce and her nasty ass parents got to pay for that. Sorry, Beyonce. You don't exist anyway. Yeah. But you get to pay for every negative thing you caused before you don't exist to cause it. How you like us now? Yeah, we's the existent, you's the non-existent. We really run the world. When we're all done with it, your mama don't get born for the offense of spawning you. Neither do your daddy. Yeah, there ain't no Knowles bloodline. There ain't no fucking motherfuckers that spawn no little Knowles monsters. Fuck them. See, it's real tempting to dick with the results of the spirit scan when you can fucking time travel and cause fucking people to not meet. You'll cause people who are gonna fucking spawn something that 2 generations later would spawn a monster that would get famous, cause police to get killed and animals to be neglected, women to become stupid, cause them never to get born. It's real tempting to dick with the results of the spirit scan at that point. When you discover that you can do that. That you can go back. You can jump in the body of one of their grandparents and cause them to kill themselves or something. Cause them to meet somebody else. Cause them to be gay. Yeah. Throw a whole lot of monkey wrenches in the shit. Now you see, this kind of fucking power and authority can't be given to just anybody because that's what they would do. They fuck around and end up fucking making themselves non-existent in the process, you see. So I have to be careful what I dick with, because I don't want the perpetrators to get out of having to serve their time loops before they never exist. I have to think of the long run here. The quadrillions of millennia per molecule of victim that they must endure. Making them not exist only stops them from showing what they were, getting it in their non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory, what they would do if they was allowed to exist. You see? You got a lot of people who think they're good people, but they won't do a good goddamn thing. I proved that. Hey, churches participated in the things that were done to me and my wife. Churches afflicting us while we were fucking homeless instead of helping us. Oh, there was an exception to the rule. Thank you, Pastor Mike. Yeah, if you ever hear this, I ain't forgot about you, and I hope you're blessed and doing good. I hope you don't feel complicit in the shit that happened in the church. What happened to me. I hope you don't feel complicit in that, because I don't hold you accountable. I know you was trying to teach people to have a sense of shame and a sense of consciousness about what they do and how they affect others. And I know that y'all tried to pull me into ministry and stuff, and others sabotaged it with my past, to distract from what they were doing in the present. And I guess I just decided that, hey, if they're going to do that, they're going to turn it into a big old tabloid express type thing. I just ain't going to even dirty up your ministry like that. And that's why, I just stepped back. Said, fuck it, Because it's just going to make you look bad by you having me up in there. Yeah. Wow, they're doing evil shit to us, And, ain't that some shit? Hello? Okay. Bye. Oh. Okay. Okay. right by. Sorry about that. I forgot to excuse myself from the conversation. I'm getting rude in my old age. We were pretty much done with that subject anyway. It's like... I'm battling the pain, y'all. For real. I know there's a lot of you out there that Obamacare is now dictating you gotta writhe in pain. And it's an insult to what you're going through, that there are people who would support Hillary Clinton. There are people who would support Obamacare and say that it's a good thing. And you know, you can't get your pain medication. You can't afford your treatments and surgeries no more. You can't afford health care. Your fucking deductible's fucking sky high. Why are you even paying for fucking health care if you got to pay out of pocket? You know, you're wondering this every time you have to go see the doctor and you have to pay all these huge ass bills, right? And you're writhing in pain. Well, those who are causing it have brainwaves that's going to attract their calamity, because they have no sense of shame about it. They're stupid. They stupid enough, you know, like a motherfucker spray painting on a building thinks he's equal to the motherfuckers who built it. They stupid like that. Or they think they're something that they're not. They think they exist. They're in a pre-existent state, in a temporary premonition timeline. It's like running a motherfucking scan, yo. Christ warned this was coming. That with his absence would come an era when you are not to do anything wrong. Just because a bunch of some humans can come into power and make what's wrong be called right, don't make it right. Just because they can make what's right be called wrong, don't make it wrong. This means that they're fucked up and they're wanting to twist the parameters, which their intent gives authority. Remember Abraham and Isaac? Yeah. Abraham's intent to sacrifice his son provided the opportunity for Christ's inception into this shit. That's all God needed. He didn't need him to actually kill his kid. You know, I know God's kind of barbaric, this timeline. Because in the next timeline, he's not barbaric. You know, in the next timeline, we don't kill our meat. It's produced in facilities that, you know, that it's like it's cloned. It's cloned meat. You know, it's like it was created in laboratories with DNA from the animals. Don't gotta kill nothing to eat good steak, and it's better and more pure than you know, getting a steak from a cow. There's no impurities, and it tastes so good, man. Oh shit! Any of y'all ever get to the next timeline, you're gonna see what I mean. You know how the food is good. The sex is good, you know, because the women ain't dumbed down, so their minds ain't full of all this fucked up clutter from this technological age and all this mainstream shit that they program them with. So it's like when you're having sex with a woman in that timeline, you're creating positive frequency resonance. You can feel the positive energy of your sexual encounter. That's something that's missing here with the self-absorption of women. How they're becoming self-absorbed. Kind of why, you know, hey, Lucifer ain't going to have no use for sex with women. The whole reason he would fuck women was to create that positive frequency resonance to give them more miracle, create a miracle performing power, you know? Because that's why they need the positive frequency resonance, for the miracle performing power, right? That's why Lucifer has to come here first, before Christ can. I don't know if anybody can see this correlation or see it, but, you know, Lucifer has had to be on this planet for Christ to be here every time. Lucifer had an interdimensional pass while things were in beta during the era before Christ was crucified. All that Bible era. When Christ was here, impersonating a king as Melchizedek or whatever, Lucifer was here then. When Christ was here as the clone of God, the test tube baby that popped out of Mary's virgin womb, when he was here then, Lucifer was here stalking him, trying to thwart the crucifixion. Lucifer did not want Christ crucified. So you got all these charlatans that, you know, they've got followings, and you're packing their bank accounts, man, and they're not doing nothing. They won't feed the animals. I sold all my musical equipment to feed homeless kitties, and now there's a whole nother batch. I don't know who keeps doing this, spawning all these kitties and throwing them outside in this town. But they always seem to find my wife's block and end up, you know, getting fed in her garage and in her driveway. So now there's a whole nother batch, you know. And we got to raise money to try and, I'm going to have to try and catch a couple of them and get them to the vet and get at least a few of them fixed, man. Or it's going to be a cat town, you know. And it's not right to let animals live like that. And I can't get any support from the Christians for this, man. You know, I was talking about this, how Christians participated in 2008 while my wife and me were sleeping in a van. They participated in stealing her empire that God gave her. You know, she was going to share it with the whole family. She didn't have no one in her family to turn to support her and help her. No. So see, we try to, you know, get the vile motherfuckers in my family to help. Well, they're evil, fucked up monsters who would, you know, they'll buy strangers steaks while I'm eating commodities pork out of a can in a driveway, sick. Can't even sleep in the house, you know, even though I'm welcome in the house. I can't sleep in the house due to some bullshit that happened, you know, between my wife and another motherfucker, good goddamn Christian, regarded as, you know, something bigger than I am to my own family. Because, you know, their eyes get wide at shiny nickels, you know, that's what they are. Hit clitters, it must be gold, motherfucker, shit. So, you know, here I've been, ever since we've been here, and I've been incapacitated, man. I've been trying to get people to participate with me, to do good shit. I've been trying to keep a ministry going, you know, on a level that I could do things when I was on street level. You know, I never had to beg nobody for help when I was down in the Detroit area, and, you know, I could go make money on the street, get me a fucking bitch who want to work with me a little bit and go get some money. You know, I didn't have to fucking beg people for help. I could go feed some homeless people and some kitties. I could feed a puppy dog. You know, I could do some shit. You know, come out here and try to abide by the law. Do what the Christians should be fucking goddamn wanting to reward me for. And instead, they want to stomp a hole in me for it. Feed fucking motherfuckers that already got food while I ain't got none. And rub it in my face. Invite them to shit. I'm living in a van, and you're going to raise money for them when, you know, they're coming out to a halfway house. You're going to raise money to house them somewhere. Months ahead of time. While I'm in immediate need. This is what the churches lead people to do. To make their families hate God and hate the church. You know? And here the whole time there's this empire. Don't require no money to start it. It just requires a couple people to start working it. And my wife, you know, we don't got no gas money. Ain't got nothing. We're fucking sleeping in a van stuck in my grandma's driveway with no money. White devils did that to us. Put us in that position. And no sense of shame about it either. Still to this day talk about us like fucking, you know, like we're scum. Well, we weren't scum before we came out here, and you see, fucking, if we get up out the hole, we ain't really the scum, are we? No, but y'all are. You're toxic, right? Come up into your life, and we'll end up fucking sleeping in a van. Nah, that's all right. We don't need you in our life. Nah, don't need that kind of sabotage. Thank you very much. Y'all could be making $10 million a year, in excess of $10 million a year right now. It was on the news the very next year. Fucking goddamn Christians stole that from my wife. And this whole time I'm trying to, you know, it's like, what, it's been almost 10 years now I've been trying to get people to help. You know, help me. Pardon me a moment. Hello? Okay. Alright, back. Okay. You know, I'm 10 years now almost. I'm trying to get people to participate with me to restore my wife just 1 year. And I ain't asked nobody to, like, hurt themselves or give no big amount or nothing. I wanted it to be like a big participation thing against the evil that happened to her, a restorative movement. So I thought, hey, wow, if I could get 10 million Christians to just share the link to be able to help my wife and just give $1 in some capacity. They could donate it if they just want to donate it. Or they could buy one of my MP3s. Or they could buy one of my books. Or they could just read some of my books. You see? Well, you can't even get them to share the link. And they sure the fuck ain't pulling out no credit card to fucking buy no MP3 that costs less than a goddamn cup of coffee. They sure ain't gonna donate no $1. So, you know, in all this time, there's less than what you can count on one hand good Christians. I've been all over the internet. I can't shame them into it. Can't fucking goddamn tell them the truth, which, you know, it should be a threat to their spiritual existence. Say, hey, wow, you got it in your non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory that you will ignore this suffering. These are God's animals. Okay? They were not fucking supposed to be wild animals. They're domesticated kitty cats. They're domesticated puppy dogs. How dare you think that you got the right to fucking ignore them? Huh. Shit. Where's your mentality to do as Christ would do in a situation, huh? Is this what Christ would do? So this is what I've been dealing with. I proved that there's less than fucking goddamn 5 good Christians that would actually participate in a restorative movement of somebody that deserves it. Somebody that fucking, you know, can't pay her bills because of fucking all the shit she's done for these animals this year. Do you know that it costs money to get animals fixed? It costs money to take animals to the vet to get them fucking their shots and all the other shit. It costs money. When somebody takes and tortures a kitty and breaks its bones and you got to take it to the vet and pay for fucking goddamn x-rays, that costs money. Where do y'all think this money came from if she could only pay the bills with her income? And then her job shit got all fucked up and she fucking had to switch jobs, which caused her income to get jacked up. She's got her income back now, but guess what? Now it's not enough to fucking keep the vultures, the credit card motherfuckers at bay. Because every month while we were going through this fucking transition, they were hitting her with fucking late fees on her partial payments on our credit cards. Yeah, so now the fucking bills are astronomical in the tens of thousands and shit, right? When if they just would have let us make the partial payments, we're back to where we can make the minimum payments now, but hey, now we're not. Now we're talking collection agents and destroyed credits so that people can't get a consolidation loan and just pay all the shit off. You know, just make sure you sabotage shit because it ain't really about the money when it comes down to it. It's about power and it's about squashing somebody's life. Right. Then you make sure that you control everybody so that nobody will participate in helping get out of this ditch. You know, my wife and I did not sow the seeds for this. I've endangered myself and her stopping to help people on the sides of the road. You know, in areas that fucking were dangerous. I have given people my only money that was in my pocket to get them home, to never see it again. And I needed it to fucking live that day. I've done some horrendous shit to myself to help others to live as God would want me to live. Don't live like you're poor and you can't help people. Help them anyway. Right? I defied this fucking poverty, this pit that got me in the whole time I've been here. And I've been fucking fighting this shit, working my ass off. But I'm not worthy of my labor. I can write some hellified good books. And people will be reading them too until fucking somebody somewhere figures out that it's happening and then suddenly everything stops. I can write some awesome songs and put them out there and make them available for people in all formats. You know, maybe you can get them fucking underground or get it on the fucking, you know, on the mainstream, you know, iTunes and shit. You can get them anywhere. They don't want to participate in that either. And then I watch them buy people drones and goddamn clothes for dolls. Hey man, them kitties are living entities. They're breathing. Time is passing. Time is of an essence with animals, man. Especially kitties. You got to get them in and get them fixed before they start spraying. Then they become a nuisance where nobody will adopt them. Nobody will love them. Nobody will take them. If you get them fixed, then at least that doesn't happen to them. And there's always the chance that that cat might get rescued. And he won't spray the house so the people will keep him. You see? There's always the chance if you just, do that much ministry. Catch the cat, take it to the vet, get it fixed. Even if you can't keep it. I can't get people to do this, and I can't get people to help me do it. They expect me to just sit here and twiddle my thumbs and be sick and just let these motherfuckers, everybody else gets to do shit, and I ain't supposed to do nothing. They get to make more and more evil shit happen, and I ain't supposed to do nothing. And here, those who know what I'm doing, they regard me as evil. I am the devil. What if I fuck around and make Hitler never exist? What if I make the Rothschilds who fucked up the banking system, these greedy fuckers never exist, and the Rockefellers? Yeah. What if I do some time travels back and cause all the perpetrators to not exist? I'm sure that there are going to be opportunities if I look in the past hard enough, where enough of them are together, that something bad could happen to where they could all get took out, or enough of their family members are together. Stop a whole demographic of them, you see? You can't have this sub-spirit, subhuman mentality where they want to control other people and shit. They want to treat people like cattle and slaves. You can't have that. Not in power. That's supposed to be the motherfuckers that do the most menial labor, because they're deranged. You can't let them have shit. Everything's exactly backwards. The most powerful and those who have the most influence and most money and fame are those who are supposed to be hidden in the gallows doing the most shitty work. Down in the sewers doing the shitty work. Yeah, whatever shitty jobs there are, that's what fucking all these famous and powerful fucktards are supposed to be doing. To keep them in check and in line. But the sub-spirits created an upside down parameter where all of the fucking shit that should be in chains is in power. Yeah. They should be in chains. I said it. They actually shouldn't exist. So I was being merciful by saying that. Because they shouldn't exist. But if you're going to have them exist, breathing the air and using resources and shitting their shit into the ground, then, make them work. Soros should be working. He should be picking up garbage in the park. Yes, he should. So what will they do? Now that they've got me locked to this, where this is all I can do. I'll take a look. I ain't gonna have no music sales or book sales or page reads today. Nobody's gonna donate $1 to my cause or try to restore Lisa. Nobody really cares. When it comes down to it, it's not happening to them, so they don't care. Nobody cares until it's happening to them. And they always think that something weird like this, what's been happening to my wife and me, they think it can't happen to them. Oh, yes, it can. It only takes fucking some getting shifted. One calamity or something, and you not be able to make them minimum payments a month or two. Even though you're upstanding and you'll make partial payments, there'll still fucking be vultures who want to pluck your eyes out and fuck your life up. Fuck your credit rating up before you can get a consolidation loan so that you can't do it. And then send credit fucking, people after you, these collection agents. Collection agents are supposed to be for people who refuse to pay. Right. So this banking system's got to be dealt with. It's to be illegal to be able to charge a late fee on a partial payment. Somebody that's been a golden goddamn credit-worthy fucking customer for years. Golden. And you're just suddenly going to treat them like a deadbeat. Instead of giving them a chance to get caught back up and get back on the pony where they can pay you like they was paying you. You know? That's why these banks are fucking crumbling, man. They've cursed their own fucking reciprocity. Reciprocity. It's an important thing. You reap it, you sow and you reap. Reciprocity. If you're engaged in usury where you charge interest but you don't give interest, reciprocity. If you're a squirrel who puts fucking a spirit of fear on shit where, oh, they can't pay me, oh no, I gotta go after them and destroy their life. If you're a squirrel like that, you put fear on it where they can't pay you. You're better off not to loan somebody money if you're gonna be afraid they can't pay you, because your fear about it's gonna make them not able to pay you. And that's what these bankers have done. They're little fucking bugs and squirrels and shit. You come up a little bit short and fucking suddenly fucking, oh no, I'm not going to get my money. And then the fear sets in, and then before you know it, you can't pay the motherfuckers. Just more bad shit happens. You're doing everything right. You're taking on extra work. You're working overtime. Working yourself into the ground. Fucking tightening your belt. You're not buying the things you need so you can give more money to these dumb motherfuckers that are fucking everything up with their fucking late fee. It's like, fuck. That's why so many people give up and quit paying. And then the collection agents have to come after them. Because, hey, you try to do right by these motherfuckers and you can't. You can't do right by them. They won't let you do right. They fucking attack your frequency resonance, your positive frequency resonance that you need to generate money. I need positive frequency resonance. That's what causes people to want to read my books. That's what causes people to want to buy an MP3 or donate $1. They've stolen my positive frequency resonance. They've done to me what they've done to Lucifer, what they've done to God and Christ. That's why Lucifer's got to come here first. We were talking about that, weren't we? Lucifer's going to come here, and then Christ is going to come here. Christ is going to be the victor. Lucifer is going to get thrown through a stargate that looks like a lake of fire. And you know there's been a lot of scrutiny as to who wrote the Revelation of John, right? Now that's coming out finally, becoming a big thing in people's minds again. To distract from the content. That's what that's all about. Their job is to make you accrue a debt to this mechanism and not exist. If it's possible to do it. You will trade away your permanent existence for what you can acquire and get and do here in a premonition timeline, a temporary existence. As a premonition of your potential existence. Well, they wanted to know that about you. They wanted to know if you could be programmed to be like everybody else when everybody else is so ugly and wrong. Right? And that's why it becomes the will of those whose turf we're in to kill off those who are in it. The majority of them. Because the majority becomes wrong. So it's because those who program the majority to be wrong, to never exist, then you saved the majority. You'd be a hero. But if you do it like I'm doing it, nobody ever know you did it, because you don't know that somebody who was participating in it was a big key player, and then they're not there anymore. They just never existed. They're not in anybody's memory. You don't know that I did it. It's kind of, if I'm looking for accolades here, it's kind of futile because I'm never going to get credit for it. How do you get credit for it? Right? There's no way to get credit for it. Once I've made something not exist, I can't prove to you that it existed. That, hey, it was doing this, it was causing this. You see? And that's where the sub-spirits want to dick with, I can hear from them too, just like y'all do, but I reject their thoughts. I reject what they have to say. That's the difference between us. I identify them and reject what they have to say. And they know that I identify them, so now they just communicate directly to me in taunting. Yeah, they're going to taunt me. Haha. You can't get credit for it. Why do it? Why do it? Why bother doing it? You're not going to get credit for it no matter who you make not exist. Nobody's ever going to accredit you for, rescuing them. Nobody's ever going to come to you. They're never going to have like a premonition or a dream to where, hey, they know this, things were made different and that you were complicit in it or the causer of it. To where, hey, wow, they had it better, or they got rich, or they got famous, or they got in a position of power. And they're never going to have that epiphany that it wouldn't have happened had you not gone back in time and did something, right? They never have that epiphany. That's the dilemma of being somebody like me, is it does no good to do anything. I mean, it's not going to do any good to do anything, for real. I don't want to tamper with my own life to where, okay, I'm rich before here. Because then all that I have met and, all that I'm doing could get fucked with. Their kitties could end up starving to death. I may not end up in this house out here. Then who's going to be here to feed them kitties and care about them? The people that I have helped up until this point. What if, because of me dicking with shit to benefit myself so that I don't have to be in this position? What if I fuck shit up where they're one of them dies or something, or you see what I'm saying? I can't dick with the results of the spirit scan like that. I can't take the chance that God is going to put someone else in the gap to stop the atrocities that I have stopped personally. Okay? That I have been there to stop. To perform the ministries that I have personally performed. So yeah, it sounds crazy. Well, if he could really do this, anybody in their right mind. Well, I'm not in my right mind. You wouldn't be in your right mind if you could do it either. You start thinking differently. Beyond yourself. It's not about me and how much money I can have and how famous and wealthy I can be. How much power I can have. This is not about me. But they want to turn it to where it's a personal thing and try to make me self-absorbed, where I'm thinking about myself because I'm suffering so much. Because I can find so little support. Because I have to go against what I am to beg. Pardon me a moment. Hello? Okay. Bye. See, this goes against every fiber of my being. To be this motherfucker that's been out here doing the hard sells on things that people should want to participate in. People should want to fucking buy one of my MP3s. They should want to read my books. I shouldn't have to encourage them to want to do that. But the sub-spirits have some super fucking, califragilistic fucking power over these motherfuckers in this timeline, in this era, man. Where, they'll fill stadiums to see some dumb shit. Some aggravating shit. How can you sit through even one song of it? For real. They'll sit through a whole show. What the fuck has been done to their minds? And you know, I tried to compromise, so you know, I made a bunch of songs that were shit. And believe it or not, the only songs that people liked were the shit. The ones that I don't even like myself. So it's like, hey, it's contaminated. The pool's contaminated. I can't swim in it, man. People are too stupid to write good music for it, so you can't write good songs. There's no audience for it. There's no people to play music with. Everybody's dumbed down and retarded. You know, it's like, you know, went from fucking everywhere I used to go, fucking people would be knocking on my door, strangers would be pulling me into their music cliques and shit to do stuff, to this shit, where, hey, I've been here, and it's like, hey, I'm some kind of social pariah. I'm the town freak. Nobody wants to play music with me. Well, now I got no musical equipment, so it's a non-issue. The kitty thing flattened me out, man. I mean, I don't even have an acoustic guitar anymore. That's how flat I got. They flattened me. I'm devastated. So, you know, I don't play music anymore. Ain't gonna do no good to write no more books in this timeline. I'll just have to write some more books about their bitch asses in the next timeline. All the Chinese motherfuckers that don't exist, with their mentality to censor what they should be trying to stop doing. You know, you should stop committing atrocities instead of censoring the internets that people can't know what's happening. That's what you should do, fool. It's in your non-tamperable, non-deletable spirit memory. You're going to give account for it. You're going to pay. You're going to be every one of them motherfuckers that was shot in their head and executed for some dumb shit like stealing a candy bar so that you could take their organs and sell them on the market. You know, you think we don't know what you've done. Smoking a common strain right now. Some White Widow. I'm gonna go ahead and just cut this short. I wanted to spend some of my day with you guys. Let you in on some stuff. It's like things are changing and they're getting dicked with. They're doing stuff, so we're doing stuff, you know? And it's like colliding worlds out there. And astroscape and shit. We got a bunch of bumbling fucking retards who think they know what they're doing, trying to combat me. I might have to just make them not exist. They're just circus scientist motherfuckers anyway, right? Hey, if you ain't gonna league with me, man, the time's coming where you ain't gonna exist. Because fucking I represent those who do exist. Alright? You need to think about that. No matter what you think of me, how evil you think I am. Maybe I had to be this evil. Look at the evil I'm up against. They're dirty, fucked up evil. They stole my girl. They stole my wife's empire. They fucking stole my family before this, man. You know, I did have a family before this. They stole that with fucktardation. They stole everything they could steal, man. I'm flattened out now. And now it's fucking reciprocation time. You see. God can't tell the truth. I can't reap a harvest for all them good seeds I sowed, huh? Because, hey, it's racked up, yo. I mean, fucking, if it was my harvest was out there growing and shit, it's up in the billions of dollars area now, yo. For real. I mean, 25 years of fucking this shit growing. Constantly more seeds getting planted. Right? And they just defy spiritual law up in here until they accrue a debt to it. And then wonder why they go crazy, have to get put in hospitals. Why bad shit happens to them everywhere they go. Well, hey, your brainwaves are identifying you. Maybe you should think some different shit. Maybe you should be grateful you ain't the puppy dog that you don't influence your fans to rescue. Yeah. You know your fans are stupid. They got dogs in basements they don't feed, out on chains in the backyard that they don't feed or water. Neglect. They won't pet them or brush them or wash them or take them for walks. Huh. Yeah, that's your fans. That's your influence, baby. Wouldn't want to be you, having to get time loop to them dogs, you and your mama, you skank-ass mama. Yeah, that's to all you famous motherfuckers, you famous fucktards. Don't see you doing nothing good. Look at your fans destroying the world instead of beautifying it. Vandalizing shit, raping shit, fucking shit. It's like, fuck, man. You ain't taught them to be productive or good yet. You had no business touching music. Fuck you. You had no business fucking a camera getting put on you. You had no business anybody hearing your words. For real. And that's why nobody hears them. This gets undone, and all these motherfuckers that made everybody too stupid to appreciate what I got to say, they don't exist, fuck them. And neither do anybody who don't appreciate the shit. Good riddance. Make sure you sing that song. Oh, Lord, pick a lot of cotton. Oh, Lord, pick a belly day. Sing it right there with Obama. Yeah, and all his white devil masses and all the rappers and sports figures they control. Yeah, and the stadium's full of retarded, fucking goddamn human-shaped trash that won't help fucking rescue the animals, but they can go to them games. Fuck them motherfuckers. Can't wait for them not to exist. They ain't in the next timeline, motherfucker. That's one beautiful fucking thing right here. So, but you know, so it's real tempting to fuck with this timeline. You know? Make a few strategic entities not exist that are fucking shit up. Maybe make Soros fucking end up getting killed during the fucking Holocaust instead of fucking, you know, surviving it. Maybe make his mama never fucking spawn him. Man. Maybe make his mama never get born. Yeah. Shit like that's doable for me now. They squashed my life out in this timeline and gave me authority over the whole timeline. All the way back to when the spirit scan began. There you go, baby. That's far enough back. They don't even know where that point is. So they don't know where the starting point is. See, they're pretty fucked up stupid. They're playing with something that they don't even have a clue what they're playing with. And it's just something I do naturally. It's like I'm a hybrid fucking goddamn cyborg or something. I just do it naturally. It's just response. It's reaction. Like I was a trained boxer and I would have a reaction. Well, you know, I have returned jabs, yo. You might want to be careful about jabbing me because I'm going to return. I'm going to reciprocate. I'm going to jab back. You see? That's where you need to stop and think before you do dumb fucking shit. Now there's 70 million homeless animals out there. Until that's fixed, you ain't got no right to think about nothing else. Nothing else. There ain't nothing else important. For real. Then the next thing is, okay, the mainstream's got taxpayers being beat down by the demographic who are being supported by those taxpayers. You got women being called bitches and hoes and being raped that they won't give up the ass. You got little kids getting fucked. You got people being mugged and beat down and their shit taken from them, all under the influence of the mainstream and sports. And you got animals being tortured for sport. You got white people being killed for sport and police being killed for sport. Under the influence of the mainstream. They all gonna get time looped as all them victims, but they too fucktarded to fucking care. I'd be afraid to be Beyonce right about now. Shit. All the buildings she gotta rebuild and all the police she gotta be who got shot. All the animals she gotta be that got neglected and tortured. Oh shit. There's consequences for being famous, baby. Some of them dead motherfucking famous people could tell you that. If only they could talk, right? Well, I told you where they went. Yeah. Ain't no NWA in the next timeline. Them motherfuckers pick a lot of cotton. They get to be a whole lot of white hoes that suck black dick, too. So do they mamas. They get to fuck their mama and eat their mama's asshole and suck their daddy's dicks. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Anything they influence to happen, they get to be the victims of it. Yeah. I would not want to be Ice Cube's dumb, retarded ass right about now, and I sure would not want to be one of his children or one of his family. I wouldn't want to be any rapper's kid. For real. Because, it's like a guarantee, hey, I don't even exist. Look at this shit. Pops don't exist because he was a fucktard who wouldn't just go get a job. He had to go be a famous rapper. He didn't have nothing good to fucking rap about. He didn't have nothing good to say. Didn't have nothing under his belt, rescuing no animals, or stopping no rapes or pedophilias, or taxpayers from being beat down. He didn't have none of that. He didn't have none of that fucking, hey, beautifying a neighborhood under his belt. Hell no. What do he have? Being ghetto. Sling some dope. Be a gangster. Bounce through the hood, fucking spray paint all over everything. Rape the bitches and hoes if they don't give up their ass. Well, there you go. That's why they ain't allowed to exist. Fuck them. Yeah. You know how easy it would be to make that demographic not exist? All you gotta do is make some boats sink. Wow. Could fix America. You could just make certain demographics die before they ever get born. Make their ancestors die off before they can spawn them. They'd begrudge their own existence anyway, or they wouldn't be negatively affecting other shit, right? See, these are the real things to think about, that I have to think about because I have the ability and the access and the power to do them. They don't. They can only dream of going back in time and making motherfuckers not exist. I'm willing to do whatever it takes to fix it. That's something they don't understand. As they keep popping up missing from history and time.